Jude Bellingham, a name that has already become synonymous with brilliance and determination. Imagine a single strike so powerful that it redefines a young man's destiny and changes the future of one of football's most storied clubs. If you believe in seizing the moment and rising above every challenge, hit that like button and subscribe now, because what you're about to hear is the full, unfiltered story of how one defining moment turned a promising talent into a Real Madrid icon, and how that same moment can inspire every one of us to reach for greatness. Born in the humble town of Stourbridge in England, Jude's journey began long before the bright lights of the Santiago Bernabeu ever shone on him. Growing up in a working-class family, he was raised on the values of hard work, perseverance, and humility. His father, Mark, who once played professional football at lower league clubs, and his mother, Denise, instilled in him not just a love for the game, but a passion for life. From a very young age, Jude was drawn to football, not merely as a sport, but as a language that transcended words. He spent countless hours on the local pitches, where uneven ground and makeshift goals could never contain the dreams that danced in his eyes. Every kick of the ball was a declaration of hope, every game a lesson in determination. In those early days, it wasn't uncommon to see Jude practicing alone, the wind carrying his aspirations as he dribbled past imaginary defenders. Neighbors would watch him from their doorways, marveling at his effortless style and mature vision. Even as a small boy, he exhibited a poise on the pitch that belied his age, a natural understanding of space and timing that would one day set him apart from his peers. While many children his age were content to simply chase a ball, Jude was already studying the game, watching how his heroes moved, learning the intricacies of passing and positioning, and dreaming of one day playing on the biggest stages in the world. His breakthrough came when he joined the youth setup at Birmingham City, where his talent was nurtured and his skills refined. Despite the modest resources of a lower league club, Birmingham City recognized that here was a diamond in the rough, a young prodigy who could change the face of football if given the chance. Jude's debut for the first team came at an age when most teenagers are still figuring out who they are. Yet he stepped onto the pitch with a calm maturity that impressed both fans and critics alike. Every match he played was a masterclass in determination, precise passes, daring dribbles, and an unwavering work ethic that spoke volumes about his character. It was during those formative years that Jude began to understand the sacrifices necessary for greatness, learning that talent must always be paired with relentless effort. As his reputation grew, so did the attention from scouts across Europe. The buzz around Jude was not just about his raw talent. It was about his leadership on the field, the way he orchestrated play even against far more experienced opponents. It was clear that he was destined for a larger stage, and the next chapter of his journey was about to unfold in a country known for its passion and tactical brilliance: Germany. Borussia Dortmund, renowned for their development of young stars, secured his signature, and the move marked a pivotal turning point in Jude's career. Leaving behind his home in England was not an easy decision for a young man so deeply rooted in his community, but the lure of new challenges and the promise of a future at the highest level were irresistible. At Dortmund, Jude was thrust into an environment where the pace was faster and the demands higher. Surrounded by players who were already making their mark in European competitions, he was challenged both physically and mentally. The Bundesliga was a league that prized speed, precision, and an unyielding spirit, and Jude adapted quickly, absorbing every lesson like a sponge. His performances soon began to turn heads, not only for his technical ability, but for his leadership qualities. Despite his youth, he captained the side on several occasions, proving that his maturity was well beyond his years. In every match, whether he was orchestrating an attack or breaking up opposition plays with his keen sense of timing, Jude showed that he was not just a talented player, but a future leader. In Dortmund, he experienced the highs of victory and the lessons of defeat. There were moments when his fearless approach on the field led to moments of brilliance that lit up stadiums, and there were times when a misstep taught him the value of resilience. He learned that every setback was an opportunity to improve, every challenge a stepping stone towards his destiny. The camaraderie within the squad, the mentorship of seasoned players, and the constant support from the club's passionate fans all played a crucial role in shaping the player he was becoming. It was here that Jude began to truly understand what it meant to carry the hopes of a team on his shoulders, to be the spark that could ignite a winning run, and to embrace the responsibility of being a role model for future generations. But as his star continued to rise, the inevitable call of one of football's most illustrious clubs could no longer be ignored. In a move that sent shockwaves through the football world, Real Madrid activated his release clause, and in the summer of 2023, Jude Bellingham arrived in Madrid, a city where history and expectation intertwine with every touch of the ball. The transfer was monumental. It wasn't just about a young talent joining the ranks of legends, but about the promise of a bright future for one of the most prestigious clubs in the world. Wearing the iconic white shirt, Jude stepped into a realm where every performance was scrutinized, every decision analyzed by millions of fans around the globe. The initial days in Madrid were filled with both excitement and daunting pressure. Training sessions at the Santiago Bernabeu were a far cry from the gritty pitches of Stourbridge or even the energetic atmosphere at Dortmund. Here, perfection was expected, and every detail was magnified. Jude faced challenges that went beyond adapting to a new tactical system. He had to overcome language barriers, cultural differences, and the weight of history. The legends of Real Madrid loomed large, and the expectations from fans and pundits were sky high. Every touch of the ball was met with a mixture of hope and skepticism. People wondered if the young midfielder could really live up to the enormous legacy of the club. There were moments of struggle early in his Real Madrid career, when critics pointed to his inexperience and questioned whether he could adapt to the relentless pace and tactical demands of La Liga. Headlines flashed with doubts. Is Bellingham ready for Madrid? Young talent or just another flash in the pan? These voices, both from the media and from some of the more cautious fans, became the soundtrack to his early days in Spain. But if there's one thing that defines Jude Bellingham, it's his ability to transform adversity into opportunity. The defining moment, the strike that would forever alter the course of his career in the future of Real Madrid, came in a high-stakes Champions League match that pitted Real Madrid against a formidable rival. The tension was palpable, the atmosphere electric, and every pass carried the weight of expectation. As the clock ticked into the second half and the match teetered on a knife's edge, Real Madrid were desperately seeking a breakthrough. It was then that Jude, with a calm born of years of preparation and sacrifice, stepped into the spotlight. With the ball in his possession and a clear view of the goal, time seemed to slow down. The stadium fell into a hushed anticipation as he maneuvered past two defenders with a graceful yet determined burst of speed. In that moment, it wasn't just about his technical ability. It was about vision, leadership, and the culmination of every ounce of effort he had poured into his career. Jude struck the ball with a perfect blend of power and precision. The shot soared like a comet, curving past the outstretched hands of the goalkeeper and nestling into the back of the net. The roar from the crowd was deafening, a sound that echoed the triumph of overcoming every obstacle that had ever stood in his way. That single strike was more than just a goal. It was a declaration. It sent a resounding message to the critics and doubters. Here was a young man who had risen above every challenge, who had absorbed the lessons of his past, and who was ready to lead a new era at Real Madrid. In the ensuing celebrations, teammates rushed to embrace him, and even the seasoned veterans could be seen nodding in approval, recognizing that they had just witnessed the birth of a new leader. For Jude, that goal encapsulated everything he had worked for. The long hours on the training pitch, the sacrifices made away from the public eye, and the resilience to keep pushing forward even when the world seemed to be against him. The impact of that defining moment was immediate and far-reaching. Not only did it secure a crucial victory for Real Madrid, but it also marked the turning point in Jude's journey from a promising talent to an indispensable cornerstone of the team. In the days and weeks that followed, the narrative around him began to shift. Commentators praised his composure and maturity, fans celebrated his flair and determination, and his critics were forced to acknowledge that he was more than capable of handling the pressures of the game at the highest level. That strike, immortalized in countless highlight reels and social media posts, became a symbol of hope, a reminder that one moment of brilliance can change everything. In the aftermath of that historic goal, Jude embraced his new role with a quiet confidence that spoke volumes about his character. Training sessions at the Bernabeu took on a renewed intensity as he worked tirelessly to build on that breakthrough. He analyzed every match, refined every aspect of his game, and sought out advice from experienced players who had walked the same path before him. With each passing game, his influence on the team grew. He became the player who would dictate the rhythm of the midfield, the one who could turn defense into attack with a single incisive pass, and the leader who inspired his teammates to give their all on the pitch. The pressure of playing for Real Madrid, a club steeped in history and expectation, was immense. Yet Jude's journey was a testament to the power of perseverance and the importance of rising to the occasion when your moment arrives. Off the pitch, he dedicated himself to understanding not just the technical aspects of the game, but also the mental and emotional resilience required to succeed at such a high level. He spoke openly in interviews about the challenges of adapting to a new culture, the loneliness that sometimes crept in despite the roaring crowds, and the determination that kept him going through moments of self-doubt. "Every time I step onto the field, I carry the weight of my past and the hopes of my future," he once said. That goal was not just for me, it was for everyone who believed that with hard work and heart, one moment can change everything. As seasons passed, Jude's presence on the field became a catalyst for Real Madrid's resurgence. His leadership extended beyond the technical. It was his passion, his willingness to fight for every ball, and his unwavering belief that the team could achieve greatness that inspired those around him. In crucial matches when the pressure mounted and the stakes were highest, Jude's calm under fire and his ability to read the game like a seasoned veteran turned the tide in Madrid's favor time and again. Whether it was a perfectly timed tackle, an incisive through ball, or a moment of individual brilliance, his contributions were a constant reminder of the transformative power of a single defining moment. Yet amidst all the accolades and achievements, Jude remained the same humble boy from Stourbridge who had once dreamed on uneven local pitches. He never forgot the lessons learned during his early years, how every setback was an opportunity to rise higher and every challenge was a test of his resolve. His relationship with his family, who had supported him through every twist and turn of his journey, remained a cornerstone of his character. In quiet moments away from the floodlights, he would speak of his upbringing with gratitude, reminding himself and others that no matter how far you go, your roots keep you grounded and remind you of who you truly are. Jude's influence began to reshape not only Real Madrid's fortunes, but also the way young footballers around the world viewed the power of a defining moment. His story spread far beyond the stadiums of Europe, inspiring countless aspiring players to believe that no matter how daunting the odds, one moment of brilliance can change the course of history. Coaches began to cite his journey as an example of what can be achieved with relentless dedication, while fans marveled at the fact that a young midfielder, once burdened by doubt and criticism, had become the heartbeat of one of the world's most iconic clubs. In locker rooms and training grounds across the globe, Jude's example resonated. He became a symbol of hope, a reminder that the path to greatness is paved with obstacles, but that those obstacles can be overcome with perseverance, passion, and the courage to seize the moment when it comes. His defining strike was more than a statistic on a scoreboard. It was a moment that encapsulated years of hard work, sacrifice, and the unwavering belief that no matter where you come from, your dreams are within reach.